He hit me about the concert, gave me a date on it, you know, and gave my word, you know, I'll be there.
Right, it's supposed to be on Thursday, February 13th. I'm assuming that you were doing it for free?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm assuming everyone else was doing it for free also.
I'm pretty, but I'm pretty, I mean, you charge a nigga to come home from jail, you a slob.
50 Cent just put Boosie on blast, and the streets are talking. We're talking backstabbing, snitching, and straight up betrayal. Now, y'all know 50 been standing on business when it comes to Big Meech, right? He's been calling Meech out for allegedly being a snitch. But here's where it gets wild. Boosie decided to get cozy with Meech, and now the word on the street is that Boosie might have been the one who set Meech up from the jump. Let's break it down. So look, 50's been riding hard against Big Meech ever since Meech got out early. This man was supposed to serve 30 years but walked free after 18. And you already know when someone gets that kind of deal, the streets start asking questions. And 50, he's been pushing that Big Meech is a snitch narrative heavy. Now, Boosie's name getting dragged into it too, and it's not looking good.
I couldn't go on them because they arguing, you know, I couldn't go on, you know, once I gave somebody my word, you know, he ain't got no seal paperwork. I mean, I just couldn't bag out on dude, you know?
What makes this messier? Boosie's always been the first one calling out snitches. Remember when he scrapped a whole project with T.I. just off rumors that T.I. was an informant? And he's been going at Charleston White for the same thing. But now, Boosie's being called the very thing he hates. Talk about irony.
Charleston White went on the record.
I don't know, man. I don't f with Charleston White. They're Prussian. I ain't so I'm keeping that.
And 50, when he feels betrayed, it's up and it stays up. Just ask Rick Ross. Now Boosie's finding out the hard way. 50 been coming at him from every angle, and it's clear he's not letting this one slide. He's basically painting Boosie as someone who switched sides, and we all know 50 don't play about loyalty. Boosie tried to clear it up, saying he ain't get paid for that performance and was just keeping his word. But let's keep it a buck. That's not even the point. And let's not forget, people already speculating that Boosie set Big Meech up. The streets are connecting dots and it's not looking good for Boosie. So Boosie jumped on Vlad TV and tried to downplay the whole situation, talking about how Lil Meech got real love for 50. But let's keep it real. 50 ain't buying none of that. Boosie out here acting like everything's cool, saying Meech Jr. got respect for 50, but the energy ain't matching up. Boosie even said if it was him, he'd be ready to go to war for his pops. So now it's looking like Boosie's riding for Big Meech no matter what, and that's where the problem starts.
You know, my response, you. My daddy, you. Go to war, you. And everything you.
When Boosie tried to defend Lil Meech, 50 hit Instagram and aired it all out. And I mean all of it. This is what he said. I did more for Mimi than anyone in his life, Boosie. That's why he responded like that. If he get locked up, I'm the first person he called bailed him out every time. When I saw him laughing at his pop post, I said, oh ish, he a snake too, he belong with him. 50's basically saying he was the one holding Lil Meech down when nobody else did. And listen, that's not even just talk. Remember when Lil Meech got arrested at the airport for having a weapon in his bag? Yeah, guess who bailed him out? 50. And that wasn't even the only time. Meech was also arrested for allegedly stealing a Richard Mille watch worth $250,000. Once again, 50 Cent came through.
Fact, okay? But until then, I have to put you in handcuffs until we figure this out.
Okay.
Okay, you understand that?
Can I call my mom or somebody?
We'll do that after.
Okay.
All right? Just turn around for me, be cooperative. Everything's on video and audio surveillance.
I just want y'all to know we just bailed my nigga out because we gotta finish season 3. So we gotta finish season 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the bail was like what, 1.2 mil?
No, it was like 1.4.
1.4, yeah.
But 50 ain't just covering legal fees. He's the one who paid for Lil Meech's acting lessons, so the dude could even play his own father on BMF. And when Meech was struggling with an addiction to X, it was 50 who paid for his rehab. So when 50 says he's done more for Lil Meech than anyone else, he ain't lying. So this whole snitching situation, it ain't pop out of nowhere. It started with Tammy Cowens. Now, if you don't know who Tammy is, let me put you on. She's got a deep connection to Big Meech, like real close. She's the one Meech actually sold the rights to his life story to. So when it comes to knowing his business, she knows everything. But here's where things get messy. According to Boosie, the drama kicked off when Meech got out and decided to stay with his baby mama instead of moving in with Tammy like they had supposedly planned. beforehand. And listen, that move right there, it set Tammy off. She felt played, and next thing you know, boom, she's spilling everything about Big Meech's alleged rat ways.
He thought he...
Oh, they was around?
I think maybe she thought that, they were going to be together once he gets out, but once he gets out, he moves in with his baby mother. And there's also a story that Meech wants his life rights back, and, there's some friction over that. So now she's like allegedly talking to 50 and giving him information and so forth. And I guess he's doing a documentary.
And guess who she ran to with all that info? Yep, 50 Cent. And you know 50 don't let nothing slide. Matter of fact, he'd already been hinting at this long before. Remember when he posted that big rat on Instagram? Yeah, that was no accident. He was basically calling Meech out right then and there. In that same post, 50 mentioned something about Cuffy. And when you connect the dots, it all starts making sense. It's like all roads lead back to this snitching narrative, and Tammy might just be the key piece that blew it all up. This is where things take a crazy turn, like next level wild. We're talking betrayal on a whole different scale. According to a prison call from Dion Cuffy Gatlin, Big Meech allegedly used Tammy Cowens as a third-party informant to snitch on him and get a reduced sentence. And this ain't just some random rumor. Cuffy's people have backed up his claims.
So Tammy Cowens signed up to be a DEA informant to give Demetrius Flannery a time cut.
Now here's where it gets even messier. Tammy reportedly signed up as a DEA informant. So while everybody thought she was just Big Meech's business partner, she was allegedly out here working with the feds. And if the streets' whispers are true, she was the middleman helping Meech get his sentence cut. If this checks out, that's betrayal on a whole new level, no lie.
I mean, listen, it's like if you rich and you got power, you can't be a snitch. Meech a snitch. Everybody know Meech a snitch. Right? Cuffy say Meech a snitch, he a snitch. I'm from St. Louis, gang. I ain't going against my own. What Cuffy got a lie for?
Based on Demetrius Flannery, as you all know as Big Meech, and Tammy Cowens, known in the paperwork as CS1.
Right.
Confidential source 1.
But it gets even worse because while Meech was still locked up, he was apparently still calling shots on the outside. And Cuffy claims he's got the receipts. According to him, Meech set him up through Tammy. Here's how the deal went down. Meech supposedly brokered a deal where Cuffy picked up $100,000 worth of snow from a source Meech recommended. And right after the deal went down, the feds were on Cuffy's neck. They swooped in immediately. But the part that's really wild, this all went down after Cuffy allegedly gave Meech a whole $1 million to pay ransom for J-Bo. And then Meech supposedly turned around and lined him up like this. If that's true, that's some cold-blooded backstabbing, no question.
And made Meech pay him back. And so Meech ain't had the money. And so that's when he gave Meech the $1 million to go do the shit. Because Meech had to pay to get J-Bo back. So Meech ain't had the money for the plug. And so he had to pay the plug back for Meech. He gave Meech $1 million.
Tammy Cowens wasn't just out here playing informant for hire. She was making moves in the bedroom too. Word on the street, she had a whole affair with Atlanta DEA agent Keith Cromer. And this wasn't no quick fling either. It was deep. Cromer allegedly helped arrange at least $212,000 in payments for Tammy. So while Big Meech was locked up doing time, Tammy was out here collecting checks and getting cozy with the feds. And 50 Cent? He's been putting all this out there, not holding back at all. Fifth's on a mission, and he's exposing every shady move Tammy made. Of course, after all this heat, Big Meech had to say something. I mean, those snitch allegations were getting way too serious, and his whole rep was taking a hit. So Meech finally spoke up, claiming he never snitched on nobody, never cooperated with the feds, and said the streets had it all wrong. But let's keep it a buck. By the time he tried clearing his name, the damage was already done.
I wasn't going to address this because I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the streets. But I never folded, never told, never will. Death before dishonor, always with me.
And you already know 50 wasn't buying it at all. Fifth came through with that scorched earth criticism, straight up saying, "You set Cuff up, ninja." And when 50 calls you out like that, man, you know it's bad news. But here's where it gets even worse. Boosie jumping in to defend Meech. That's only making the whole situation look more suspect. Boosie's putting his own rep on the line, and with 50 going this hard, it's not looking good for either of them. Of course, people had a lot to say and weigh in on the situation. situation. You already know the streets and the internet don't hold back when it comes to drama like this. One user said, 50 put his son, as well as everyone, in position to eat. Meech came home and messed that up. For what? A sense of entitlement because he was once that guy. Streets don't love you. Another user kept it just as real, dropping some heat on Meech's parenting, saying, Boosie's youngin' would crash out because he's been in his kid's life from day one. Meech been in jail and ain't done nothing for Lil Meech. Gets out of jail and ruins his son's career doing some goofy stuff. Forget Meech. And you'll know people weren't gonna let Boosie slide either. One user came for him hard, saying, Boosie's comments don't even matter. He changes with the wind. The reactions are wild, and it's clear that a lot of folks ain't riding with Meech or Boosie on this one. This whole situation is straight up crazy. 50 Cent is not letting up on Big Meech or Boosie, and the streets are talking. But I gotta ask y'all, do you think Boosie really backstabbed 50 by standing with Meech? Is Meech really out here snitching, or is this just a big misunderstanding? And why is Boosie riding so hard for Meech when the evidence ain't looking too good? Y'all already know I want to hear what you think, so drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit that subscribe, and tap that bell so you don't miss the next video. And check out the next one on your screen right now for the latest scoop.